Hello everyone, it's Cedar Avenue, I'm Eric, and this is my newest tier list video. It's going to be quite a big one. It's the end of the summer, I've been to quite a few new amusement parks this year, so I'm going to update my North American amusement park tier list. So let's get through what the tiers are first. I'll explain what each one is. S tier is for the best parks. Ones where I look at them and think, oh yeah, that's one of the favorites is going up there. A is the tier for parks that are still fantastic, amazing parks. I love a lot of theme parks, so relatively the tiers are positive. B is going to still be great parks that have some flaws, but I definitely would go back to. C tier is ones I had a good time at, but I'm not hankering to go back. And D is the ones I don't enjoy. And while there aren't too many, the ones I've not been to are going to go in this bottom tier here. And note that this will not be perfectly ordered within the tiers. I will try to order them, but it's pretty tough. Let's begin. Michigan's Adventure. This one is going to have to be a D tier. I did not have a great experience here. I had some fun at first. Shivering Timbers is certainly a great ride to have, but outside of that, the ride lineup is quite weak, and I didn't think the park was managed especially well, so it is definitely among my least favorite amusement parks out there. It is my least favorite Cedar Fair park, so that is definitely going in the D tier. Now we have Knott's Berry Farm. This one I will put in B tier. Some really love it, I know. The theming is excellent, and it still has some pretty strong roller coasters. I do think in general the ride lineup is kind of weaker than some other major Cedar Fair parks. It's better than many, but not all for sure. And the operations definitely hold it back a bit, but I do still enjoy this park, and it is a great looking one. Now Canada's Wonderland. For the time being, I'm considering an A tier for this one. I find it underrated. Rides such as Leviathan, The Bat, Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, and others are underrated. And the park looks excellent and has some stronger operations. It is the best Canadian amusement park for sure. It's a very strong experience overall, and I think it gets a little too much hate from the coaster community. So maybe this will move down later in the list, but for now, let's go with A tier. Cedar Point. Of course, the roller coaster capital of the world is an S tier. At its best, it is the best park ever, for sure. My favorite. I love all of the roller coasters. It is an incredible lineup. And when I say all of them, I guess there are some I can be a little nitpicky about, but the lineup is definitely the best of any amusement park I've been to. The location is unbeatable, and I love the appearance of every single ride. And the operations are typically very strong, though I've seen some issues recently that hold us back just a little bit. But for someone like me, who really enjoys the roller coaster aspects of parks, this definitely has to be in the S tier. California's Great America. Either low B or high C. For now, I think low B is appropriate, though it is definitely well below Knott's. There are some great rides here. Railblazer is an excellent number 1, and Gold Striker and Patriot help make for a very strong top 3. I meant Flight Deck, sorry, Patriot's not top 3 at this park. I'll explain why I said Patriot pretty soon later on. The operations are good, the park is lively and fun, but it is not the most spectacular experience out there. Alright, what's next? Dollywood. Dollywood, I was here yesterday as of when I'm recording this video, and it's S tier. I'm not sure if it goes above Cedar Point or not, but I was blown away. The roller coaster collection is incredibly fun. While there are only 10 roller coasters compared to Cedar Point's 16, 17, whatever it has right now, there are so many good ones, and they're very re-rideable. The appearance is excellent, operations were all around fantastic. I loved everything about this park. So for now, I'm gonna put it below because I'm not ranking too much necessarily, but it earned an S tier spot for sure. Dorney Park. Dorney in Allentown, Pennsylvania is a very nice one. It's charming. Demon Drop is a very unique ride that I'm very glad the park has. The roller coaster collection is pretty weak overall, sadly, but other than that, it is an enjoyable park, feels very vintage, and I do enjoy spending time there. Now Valley Fair. Valley Fair I think is a little bit below Dorney. I do still like it. The roller coaster lineup is definitely stronger, thanks to the excellent number 1 Renegade, and rides such as Wild Thing and Steel Venom. The park is also fairly lively, but it is definitely just a smaller scale park, with less that's really of note compared to the previous mentioned parks, Dollywood, Cedar Point, even Dorney Park. Now Worlds of Fun. Worlds of Fun is similar tier to Dorney and Valley Fair, but I think it's a little better. It has great rides in Mamba, Prowler, and Patriot. Patriot is the B&M invert that I accidentally called Flight Deck. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, the supporting roller coaster lineup is not bad either, and there are plenty of good flat rides here. The appearance is nice, and I enjoy that general around the world in 80 days type feel and the theme that goes through it. Unfortunately, operations are bad, not quite Michigan's adventure level, and the rides are more than good enough to hold it up, so it definitely gets a C tier spot. No higher, no lower. Now for Carowinds. Carowinds is one of the best Cedar Fair parks. Fury 325 is an amazing number 1, and the other rides here are fantastic. The top 5 is definitely hard to beat, the atmosphere is excellent, I do like that general Carolina feel, and the gimmick with the border actually works quite well and does not feel too obnoxious, so I thoroughly enjoyed my time at this park, and it's definitely among the best in the Cedar Fair chain. Now Hershey Park. Very tough one. I feel like it's probably an A tier. For now, I think I'll put it above Canada's Wonderland, even though I do think the roller coaster lineup is overrated, and the crowds are kind of a nuisance, to the point where I think they're just as bad, if not worse, than Cedar Point. The park looks nice, the operations are good, it's a very lively one. It has a lot of Cedar Point's best aspects, but I do think that ride lineup is kinda eh, compared to what some say. But compared to overall on this list, A tier is deserved. Kings Island. Kings Island is going in S tier for sure. Generally right now I think it is the best one because it's had an amazing last few years. Extraordinary stuff. Operations top tier, layout has always been the best of the best pretty much. The roller coaster lineup is only second to Cedar Point. The flat rides are great, the appearance is nice even if it's not the most spectacular necessarily. I thoroughly enjoy any visit to this park, and it easily earned a top tier spot. Now King's Dominion, not my favorite. It sits comfortably between these two Cedar Fair parks. You have a great ride lineup, there's an abundance of major attractions, that's good, but unfortunately, there's a major issue, and that is the fact that it's a very large park with a lot of empty space that doesn't feel completely filled. And I think if they were able to get one or two more major investments and rides, which I hear we might be getting, the park will feel more complete and could easily move up to high A, low S tier. We'll just have to wait and see. Now Silver Dollar City, an unfortunate one, because while many would easily put it in S tier, I don't think it's quite there with these S tier ones. The cave is an extraordinary experience. I love that there's a Marvel cave there. That's fantastic. The roller coasters are good, but not the best. The rides overall are a strong lineup thanks to the non-roller coasters, but overall I don't think it quite competes with some of these others. I am definitely thinking high A. I'm not quite sure it can move to low S. The appearance is wonderful. It is the best looking park on this list besides maybe Dollywood, so far at least. I think I have to go with the low A for now. Maybe that will change with time, but I meant high A, sorry, but I just don't know. I don't think it's quite as extraordinary as some say, but it is among my favorite parks. Now for Kentucky Kingdom, I had a great time here. I find the top two roller coasters are excellent. Beyond that, you have a decent ride lineup. Not the best, not highly themed or anything super unique, but it's good. And I can't count the water park toward this, that'd be unfair to the other parks, but Hurricane Bay is one of the best water parks out there. For now, I'll put it lower B tier. It is a great park. Six Flags Great America. For me, this is the best of the Six Flags parks. I love it. All of the roller coasters are fun, and they all look fantastic, so just walking around you'll have a good time in a way you don't normally get at a Six Flags park. The operations are the best, the atmosphere is the liveliest and most fun, and because it is my favorite Six Flags park, it might deserve the S tier. I'm torn. I think I'd rather go back to Great America than Silver Dollar City, but I'm not sure if it's S or A. For now, I'm going to go with top of A. It's still an amazing park, as noted by the name of the tier, but it's tough. Now Six Flags Great Adventure, a stronger roller coaster collection than Great America. King Ka, El Toro, Jersey Devil Coaster, Nitro, Medusa, These are all some of the best Six Flags roller coasters. King to Ka especially is a fantastic one. The park has a great non-roller coaster lineup as well, with Zumanjaro Drop of Doom being one of the best drop towers out there, and I think I'll put it one spot below Great America. They're fairly close, even though Great America definitely takes the crown for me. And now we have Six Flags Over Texas, another of the underrated ones. I think it's probably in a similar tier with Canada's Wonderland. It has plenty of underrated roller coasters. You have New Texas Giant, Titan, Runaway Mine Train, Runaway Mountain especially. Quite a lot. So I think it's either one above or one below. You have a decent theme throughout, but it's not as strong as Canada's Wonderland. It's not going to be perfectly ranked, but for now, I think I'm going to put it one below. That was close, but I'm not sure. And now what? Six Flags New England. Six Flags New England is among the strongest Six Flags parks. The top two is the best of any park on this list besides Dollywood. It's very hard to beat. I'm definitely thinking low A tier or high B tier. Outside of those top two, you don't have a ton of extraordinary rides. It's all just kind of decent. The park looks nice, has good operations. It's all around a very solid park. But I don't think it quite warrants A tier, so we'll go with this for now. Now we have a Busch Gardens Park. Which one are we looking at? Williamsburg. So tough. I feel bad with this one because I love it. I had a awesome experience recently. The park is among the best looking in the world, and I'd say of what's on this list right now, only Dollywood and Silver Dollar City compete with this one. The roller coaster collection is very good, but Pantheon and Griffin were both closed when I went, so I don't have the best overall impression of the roller coaster lineup. The food is awesome, atmosphere is excellent, the train ride is possibly the best of any train in any park, with some great competition on this list, frankly. I like this park a lot. It's definitely going to be in the higher A tier. I think it warrants above all the Six Flags parks, but it might even be good enough for the S. I don't know for now. For now, I'm going to put it here. It's close, but I gotta leave it there for now. Now we have La Ronde. Alright. La Ronde is the most overhated park for sure. It's very overhated, mainly due to the fact that many will say it's the worst park ever, just based on the fact that it's popular to say that. I feel like a lot of people have not been there and say that. I know plenty have been there and say that, and that's fair. But I had a great time. I know the ride lineup is somewhat lacking. The ride lineup is definitely in that lower C tier. But with the amazing appearance, you have that lake in the center, you're on an island, and the operations, those elements are definitely in the B or even the low A tier. So I think it's going to be in the B tier for me, and I think the bottom is probably the best spot for it, but it is an awesome park. Busch Gardens Tampa. This is a tough one. It's my home park. I've been on every roller coaster there. Iron Gwazi is my favorite roller coaster in the world. So naturally, based on the roller coasters and the rides and my experiences, it gets the S tier. I feel a little bad because there was certainly some bias, but I also feel that if I only went on one trip, and that was my most recent one where I got on Iron Gwazi, Serengeti Flyer, and all the other major rides, it would be S tier. The park looks great, you have that consistent African theme throughout, it doesn't look as good as Williamsburg, but I've had a better experience with the ride lineup because I've seen more of it. The operations are a bit weaker than Williamsburg, so I think if I could get on the Pantheon and Griffin and any other major ride I may have missed, I don't think there's any other. Oh, Dark Coaster wasn't open yet either. So if I can get on those three, this would move up here, maybe above Tampa. But for now, I have to leave it like this, and I cannot betray my home park that I do truly believe, after all these years, is an S tier. Now another Six Flags, which one have we got? America. America is a bit below La Ronde for me. A slightly stronger ride lineup, but much weaker appearance and slightly weaker operations. I think it's below Worlds of Fun. I think I'd probably take Dorney over it for an overall experience. And Valley Fair, I'm very torn. I'll put it just below Valley Fair for now. Now what? We have Darien Lake. Darien Lake, I'm pretty set on just putting in C tier. It's not as good as America, but it's fun. I thoroughly enjoy quite a bit about it. Ride of Steel is a good number 1, the lakes look nice, it's just all fine, not great. Another Six Flags. Now we have Mexico. Okay, I've not been to Six Flags Mexico. That is the one Six Flags park I've yet to get to. Discovery Kingdom. Another underrated Six Flags park. The roller coaster collection is great. Joker is an underrated RMC. I thoroughly enjoy Medusa, Batman the Ride, and Superman Ultimate Flight. The animal exhibits are excellent here. The Butterfly Garden is possibly my favorite thing here. It's a very fun experience. I think some might put it in D tier, but everything about it, operations, layout, are not quite as bad as people say. So I think it definitely warrants a higher spot. It's right next to Great America. It might be one above, might be one below. Roller coaster lineup is better at Great America. I will give that the slight edge for now. Alright, this list has gotten big enough. Holiday World. Oh, tough one. Holiday World is a park that blew me away. I thought the roller coaster lineup, while small, was very strong. It has 3 of the craziest wooden coasters out there. Raven is tame compared to the rest of the wooden coasters in the park, but it is insane compared to most wooden coasters in the world. The atmosphere is unbeatable, lively, but not crowded, very fun. The free soft drinks has a certain charm to the park, and the charm throughout this whole place is just extraordinary. I've not experienced the water park, and that wouldn't count anyway. The operations are very good. I think it's definitely A tier, and generally it's sitting around Silver Dollar City. I think the roller coasters are frankly better than at Silver Dollar City, but that park does have better overall rides, so I'll put it right here. I'm happy for it to be in the top 10 right now, and I hope we can stay top 10 by the end of this. Now we have Six Flags Fiesta Texas. This is the best looking of the Six Flags parks. It had a lot of closures when I went, sadly, but it still looks great. I'm very blown away by some of the theming. I know that's not all Six Flags, obviously, but the queues look great, even the new ones. Joker Carnival of Chaos is one of the best of any queue I've ever experienced, and it's a Six Flags park. I know we all rag on, wow, those parks look ugly, bare bones, but this one is quite the exception, I would say. I'm trying to think, is there any reason I shouldn't put it above Hershey Park? It's very close for me, frankly. Hershey Park is awesome. It has probably a better overall roller coaster lineup, but I'd take Iron Rattler over anything there. I haven't experienced Golden Lasso Coaster, but I have experienced the similar Railblazer. I don't know, I'm very stumped here. I'm thinking Hershey Park, Fiesta Texas, Hershey Park, Fiesta Texas. For now, we're going to put it just below Hershey Park, but we will come back to this. Great Escape, D tier, for sure. I prefer Michigan's Adventure for a much stronger ride lineup, and no questions there, even though Adirondack Outlaw is an awesome ride. Now we have Six Flags St. Louis. This goes in the C tier. I think the ride lineup is It's weaker than Valley Fair. The hill setting is super nice. Operations were acceptable. I think the appearance is pretty weak, even though the setting is good. It's going to go below the other Cedar Fair parks. And now we have Six Flags Over Something. That can only be Over Georgia. So Over Georgia is going to go either one above or one below Kentucky Kingdom. The ride lineup definitely beats Kentucky Kingdom and Discovery Kingdom and even Great America probably. But the operations are down here. Maybe here. So I think I'm going to go with the below option. Kentucky Kingdom is just so fun. This one I'm not really hankering to get back to, even though the ride lineup is definitely B tier or even A tier. I have not been to these SeaWorld parks. SeaWorld Orlando, it has been too long, but I do recall it's a decent looking park. The B&Ms are awesome. I've yet to ride Pipeline though, or Icebreaker. I wonder if maybe I shouldn't rank this one. I guess some might say it's unfair for me to rank it, so I'll just give it a spot based on where I currently think, and if you're not okay with that, just imagine it's not on the list, take it out. We'll put it right here. Now Frontier City it is in the bottom tier. It has the worst ride lineup of these because it's not really made as a major park, but it looks nice. Operations were really bad, but the park was not crowded, so my experience was not terrible. I think D tier is fair, but it's not the worst thing out there. And finally, Six Flags Magic Mountain. What do? The roller coasters are abundant and very intense, but ultimately overrated. I don't think X2 is the holy grail that so many others think it is. The park looks nice, the setting is awesome, and a lot of the roller coasters are very nice to look at, but the park is a very unsettling atmosphere, and I don't really enjoy walking around this one. The operations are some of the worst overall in the Six Flags chain. It's hard to say. It's definitely A tier. This is not an S tier park by any means, even the roller coasters. But let's see. I think it warrants a spot above Hershey Park, probably, but it might not. It's in this range. I just don't think the atmosphere and appearance are enjoyable enough for the roller coasters that, while still kind of overrated, I don't think they can carry this to the top spot of A tier by any means. So we're going to put it right here. Okay, that is the list. So in the S tier, we have the incredible Ohio Cedar Fair parks, the shockingly spectacular Dollywood, my home park, Busch Gardens, Tampa, and in the A tier, you have the just beaten out Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, the two best Six Flags parks, Great Adventure and Great America, the Silver Dollar City that is slightly weaker than Dollywood for me, but maybe that'll change, we'll see, Holiday World as the best independent park and an extraordinary experience. Then there's Carowinds, Magic Mountain, Hershey Park, Six Flags Fiesta Texas, Canada's Wonderland, Six Flags Over Texas. So it's mainly the best Six Flags and Cedar Fair parks. And here you have some of the other very good Cedar Fair and Six Flags parks. And overall Cedar Fair seems to be better in these tiers, it seems. And then Kentucky Kingdom was able to make the cut. And finally here, the C tier, we have the good not great Cedar Fair parks and the good not great Six Flags parks. And in D tier, Michigan's Adventure, Frontier City, and Great Escape. On this tier list, I just have to get to Six Flags Mexico, SeaWorld San Antonio, and SeaWorld San Diego. Now before we finish this video, let's take a look at the community rank. I'm curious how mine compares. It's based on 7 lists, okay, not the most lists out there, but not bad. So Cedar Point, Kings Island, Silver Dollar City, Magic Mountain, that all makes sense at the top, sure. Now I will say, I think this A tier looks very good. I'm happy with all the ones that are in there. I'm a little more, about some of these lower ones. So the C tier is interesting just because of all the things that are kind of put together, where I feel like Canada's Wonderland warrants a higher one. But I guess because I use D tier as the lowest and this uses F tier, this tier list is naturally weighted more toward the bottom than mine. And I'm just saying La Ronde, I don't think it deserves F tier, and definitely not these two. Even though I like La Ronde more than those, I just don't see a case for Dorney being F tier. But it's the opinions of the 7 people who have submitted their rankings. And that is going to do it for this list. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below your tier list or any general thoughts you have on parks and my opinions. You can ask about any park that's not on the list you want to know my tier ranking of, and I will tell you. Subscribe for more theme park content. I'll see you next time.